Hello Year 3 and welcome back to your third writing lesson. Today we are going to be looking at rhetorical questions. These are questions that don't need an answer. Now we have done these before, but today we're going to be looking at how they are used in persuasive text. So how do people use these to persuade a target audience to buy or use a product or service that they are advertising? Before we do that, make sure that you have everything to hand, so any worksheets that you've printed out or just something to write with and a piece of paper. Our do now today is going to be about commands. Now, if you've got the worksheet, great. All you have to do is write the imperative verb to complete each of those commands. Now, if you have forgotten, an imperative verb is a bossy verb. So you're telling somebody quite impolitely to do something with a sense of urgency. You want it to immediately happen. If you don't have the worksheet, again, absolutely fine. There's no need to rewrite out all the sentences. Just number like they are numbered there and just write the verb that you would use. Now, a tip, there are going to be lots of different verbs that you can use. So there aren't any one right answer for each sentence. But if you pause the video here and write down what verbs you would go for, I will then reveal the verbs that I chose. So we can see if we got the same ones or if you came up with some even better ideas. So press pause now. Okay, hopefully you paused in plenty of time because I'm about to reveal the imperative verbs that I would use. So number one, I said draw a line with a ruler. Number two, I said stir the ingredients together properly. Now you could have gone for a word such as mix. So remember I said no one verb is right or wrong. You could have chosen from many. Number three, listen to the instructions. Number four, raise your hand up to ask a question. Number five, complete your homework by Friday. So again, you could have chosen a verb such as finish or do. Number six, report what you saw. Number seven, quiz the suspects about the crime. Number eight, visit the web page. Number nine, show your answers. You could have gone for reveal your answers for that one. And number 10, remember to bring your book bag. If that was too straightforward for you, which is great, you could also challenge yourself by using a conjunction to add a bit more detail to each of those commands. So telling the person why you want them to do said command. So if you want to do that, pause the video here and have a go and then press play when you are ready. Otherwise, let's continue with our lesson. So as I mentioned, today we are going to be using rhetorical questions to persuade, which means to convince somebody to do something. So by the end of the lesson, we are going to understand the purpose, so the reason for a rhetorical question and what they are. And then also you're going to write your own persuasive rhetorical questions. Now, we all know questions usually require an answer. So for instance, if someone was to ask you, where did you put my shoes? You would expect them to give you an answer with some information. Oh, I left them by the front door. Really straightforward. We use questions every single day. However, rhetorical questions don't require an answer. So for this, let's think of a really angry teacher, obviously nobody similar to who you know, but this angry teacher might ask questions that don't require an answer. So she might say something like, what on earth were you thinking? Are you kidding? You're not being serious, surely. None of those questions actually need a response. So you might just think of a class staring in silence at their very cross teacher. But those are really good examples of rhetorical questions. You don't actually need somebody to reply with something. Now, rhetorical questions are used in persuasive text. Again, not because we want an answer, but because we want to encourage the audience to think and reflect. So remember, persuasive texts are usually used in advertising. We want the audience to think that they need to buy this product. So if we use a rhetorical question to persuade somebody to try and buy something, we want them to start thinking things like, maybe I do need this product. Oh, come to think of it, I have been thinking of something related to what the product is. So let's look at some examples that will probably explain it a bit better than me. So they are used at the beginning of a persuasive advert to draw the reader in. So let's go back to our mighty monster toy truck from yesterday. Are you looking for a new unbreakable monster truck? Is your toy box looking a little dull? Well, look no further because help is here with the indestructible mighty monster truck. So you can see there I've got two rhetorical questions at the beginning of my advert to draw the reader in. Now this immediately gets me thinking, well, one, who's the target audience? Who do I want to be thinking about whether or not they're looking for a new monster truck or if their toy box is a bit boring? Have a think. Hopefully you're all thinking about children not too dissimilar to yourselves. So young children would be the target audience. And what would we want them to be thinking in reply? Well, again, I know an advert is used to sell. So I want them to think, yeah, actually, I do need a new toy truck, or actually, I don't have a toy like this. And so it gets them thinking and they're more likely to read on and look at the rest of your advert. So let's have a look at rhetorical questions in action. I have two questions here. I want you to read them yourself and then have a think about which one is more effective, which one is better at persuading you that you need this product, which in this case is a toothbrush. Okay, so hopefully you spotted that the rhetorical question that probably would be more likely to be used in an advertisement to persuade people to buy would be this one here. Are you tired of having to use a handheld toothbrush day after day? Already that's got me thinking, yeah, actually it is a bit tiring, or actually maybe there's another way that they're going to tell me I can brush my teeth. If you would just ask, do you like this electric toothbrush? You're either going to get a yes or no, or I don't know. And that's less likely to get the target audience interested in your product. Let's have a look at another one. So again, pause the video here, read the two questions and which one is more effective and why. Okay, so again, hopefully you went for, do you want a bright smile that will last all day long? Over, do you want to keep your teeth clean? Because again, that first rhetorical question, the one that I've circled, has got me thinking, oh, a bright smile sounds nice. How do I go about getting one of those? And again, I'm already reflecting and thinking and more likely to be buying into the idea of this product. If somebody just wrote in an advertisement, do you want to keep your teeth clean? Again, you're probably just going to get a yes or a no answer in their head and they're not really going to be engaged with your advert. Thinking about the idea of a bright smile makes me think that this product is going to have a really positive effect on my life. So I had a think of some rhetorical question starters which are going to come in quite handy for the rest of our lesson. So I'm going to read them out, and once I've done that, I want you to pause the video and make a note of about 2, 3, even 4 of them, because they're going to come in very handy in the next couple of tasks. So have you ever wondered, thought, considered? So all of those words mean similar things, so I put them all together. Are you in need of? Are you on the search for? Worried about? Why don't you? And you can see I've used a ... at the end of each of those because obviously they're just the sentence starters. So what I want you to do now is pause the video and make a note of the ones that you would go for and press play when you are ready to continue. Okay, so we are now going to think of some rhetorical questions for different advertisements, trying to engage audiences to buy or use different products. Now, my steps to success for this are, I'm going to think about each advert. What do I want the audience to buy? What product or service am I selling? Number 2, how is it going to make their life better? Because this is going to help me write my question. What do I want them to get thinking of? Number 3, I'm going to choose a question starter from the ones that you jotted down. And then I'm going to remember that my question has to end with a question mark. So let's try the first one. I've got my steps to success here, and I have got an advertisement for shampoo. And I've got a picture there of a lady with very glossy hair. Remember I said the photo and the picture is just one part of an advertisement. The writing and the persuasive text is another part. So step 1, what do I want the audience to buy? Well, very clearly that is an advertisement for shampoo. Number 2, how is it going to make their life better? So I'm going to want my audience to think that they are going to have really strong, healthy, shiny, luxurious hair. That's how it's going to make their life better. So I'm going to choose a question starter and I'm going to go for, have you ever wondered? And thinking about, what did I say I wanted them to think about? How's it going to make their life better? Shiny, long, strong hair. Have you ever wondered what life would be like with long, luxurious and shiny hair? Question mark. So let's see if I have got everything in there. What do I want the audience to buy? Well, I already thought about the shampoo. How is it going to make their life better? I've made them think about long, luxurious and shiny hair. Did I use a question starter? Yes, I did. I've got, have you ever wondered? And then I ended with a question mark. Because now, if somebody was to read this advertisement, I want them thinking, oh, I wonder what life would be like if I had really long, nice hair. Okay, so that was my one. Let's see if you can do one with me. So I'm going to ask the questions and I want you to, again, you can just verbally say this out loud to yourself, have a think out loud like I did, or you can jot some notes down. So number 1, this advertisement that I've got here, what do you want the audience to buy? Okay, number 2, how is it going to make their life better? If they were to own this product, what would happen? Maybe you could say something like they are going to run like the wind, or maybe they're going to be the envy of all of their classmates. Maybe they're going to have the snazziest footwear on the block. I don't know, but make the product sound positive. So make some notes now of why people would want this product. And once you've done that, step 3 is to go back and choose one of those question starters that you jotted down earlier. So it could be, have you ever wondered, or are you in need of? And then once you have written your rhetorical question, make sure you end with the correct punctuation mark. And if you can't remember what that is, make sure you look at step 4 over here. So press pause now and give yourself some time to write your rhetorical question. If you want to stretch yourself, write 2. Okay, when you have written your question, have a go at saying it out loud in your most convincing voice, and I look forward to seeing what your ideas were on Seesaw. Okay, one more. Now this one I'm going to let you do on your own. So you have got a breakfast cereal there, quite a famous, well-known breakfast cereal or breakfast product. So again, I want you to think about what the product is. How is it going to make the audience's life better if they buy it? Choose a question starter and then make sure that you end your rhetorical question with a question mark. Again, when you have done that, say it out loud in your most convincing voice, and I look forward to seeing what your ideas were on Seesaw. So press pause now. Okay, so I hope you had time to write and recite, so say out loud your fantastic questions. Again, please upload them to Seesaw so I can see what great ideas you had. Now, that was good practice for your task, because your task is, I have given you a worksheet which has 3 different products, and you are going to write for each of those products 2 or 3 rhetorical questions. So again, you're persuading people to use or buy these products. On the worksheet, I've given you the steps to success, and I've also written down the different question starters if you have forgotten. Now, I'm going to give you an example of a totally different product that isn't on your worksheet, so you can't copy. But again, if you have the worksheet, great, you can just write straight onto the piece of paper. If you don't, just number 1 write what the product was and then write your questions next to it. So you don't need anything printed out. So let's do one together before I send you off. So what is the product here and what do I want the audience to buy? Well, that's a scooter or a moped. How is it going to make their life better? So that's a way of traveling about, quite a fun way to travel about, very stylish too. So I might try to get them to think about maybe how boring life is when they're traveling on the bus, or maybe they're bored of walking everywhere, and this scooter or moped, sorry, is going to make things a lot more interesting. Maybe they're going to travel a lot faster. Maybe they're going to look a lot cooler. So let's choose a question starter. I think I'm going to go for Are you on the search for? Are you on the search for a new and stylish way to travel? That could be my first sentence, my rhetorical question, to get people interested. Are you on the search for a new and stylish way to travel? And now I'm going to write my second one. So again, I know my product is this really cool moped. I know it's going to make my audience's life better because it's going to maybe get them places a bit quicker. It's going to look very stylish. I've already talked about it being stylish, so I think I'm going to go for why don't you? Why don't you invest in this state-of-the-art moped? I'm going to go a bit crazy here, guaranteed to make you look the coolest. This up on all your neighbors. Okay, so let's read both of those. Are you on the search for a new and stylish way to travel? Why don't you invest in the state-of-the-art moped, guaranteed to make you look the coolest of all your neighbors? So those are my two rhetorical questions. I made sure that I thought about the product. How is it going to make their life better? And I've chosen my question starters and made sure I've ended with a question mark. Now, your task is exactly the same. You have 3 different products, which I'm not going to tell you because they are surprised on your worksheet. And I look very forward to seeing what you all come up with. So have a great lesson and I will see you all very soon.